Hello everyone, I'm Alfian and today we are going to solve the Hackerrank React challenge by topic, and for this particular challenge we are going to solve the slideshow challenge. It's called the basic slideshow, and that displays a series of slides and allows users to navigate through them. The application requirements are detailed below, and the finished application must pass all of the test units. And this is the GIF and the detailed requirements right here. And for the sample interaction, this is the initial state that we need to display the first slide, or the welcome to the workout plan. And then for this, we need to display the previous, or we need to disable the previous and restart buttons for the initial state. And then for the user action 1 and for the user action 2, and then the test is right here, and we are prohibited to modify the test cases. And this is the app.js that contains the main rendering application, and this is the button, and the usual navbar content right here. This is also app. This is the main render, and then the slides data that serves the slides and using the slides property, and then the slides will take the slides data from the slides data right here. And let's see the slides data that pass from the constant. Looks like we have the array of objects that contains title and text, and then it's consistent with every element that contains title and text. We can use this, and for these slides we can initiate the state by using the useState hook. It's constant. For the first slide, using the page and then set page, and then useState. For the first page, we can use the 0. We need to use the today's workout plan as the index 0, and then we need to somehow flick the page. And for the useState, we can declare right here after the React, and then use useState, importing from the React. And then for the initial state, we need to pass in the useEffect hook. And then for the callback function, using empty callback and then passing in the curly brackets. And then for the initial rendering page, we can use empty array as the second argument from the useEffect hook. And then for the useEffect, we can use the set page for the initial render 0. And then for the slide title here, we need to somehow pass in the slides content from the constants that slides from the app, that pass on from the app.js, that slides data. And then this is the array at the index 0, and for the index 0 has the property called the title and text. We need to render this for the first time. We can simply delete the slide title here, which is the header 1. The content, we can replace the content using the curly braces, and then pass in the variable of the slides from this parameter right here, from these slides, from the app.js, and then slides using the current index, which is 0, and then use the title. And for the second one, For the slide text here of the paragraph tag, we can simply pass in the property of slides if index 0, and then the title, and then the text. So we have the initial value. We need to make this index mutable, controlled by the useState hook. So we can pass in the page variable from the useState right here. Can use Alt+D and then pass in page. And for the set page, it's only 0 for the first initialization. And we need to somehow use the next button and then interact with it, and to flip to another page or slide by using a function called, we can either use a function or directly modify the set page right here. But for the function, we can use const next page using the arrow function, and using the set page, and takes the previous argument and then implicitly return previous plus 1 to flip to the next page, or incrementing the page variable right here by 1. So we can pass in the next button using the property of onClick button property, and then pass in the next page function right here. Parents is not defined. Let's reload this. For the next, so it's now working, but it will be overflow, like out of bound, because we don't have any control of the set page function right here. Set page useState function, we can simply use the another useState function, but for this one it's only the variable, not the function like the one above it, called max page useState. And for the initial value or the fixed value of the useState, we can use the slides, and then using the length property, and then subtracted by 1, because the page will be, or the array will be initialized by 0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, etc. to make it align, because it has 5 elements of the slides data. Then the page will be like this, and then the actual length will be 5. We need to align these length of the array to the max of the last page. So by using this -1, then we can get the maximum slides right here, which is the 4. Then we can use a ternary function called the, as long as previous value is below or equal to the max page, then we can allow the previous value to increment it by 1. If it's not, if it's false, then we can retain the value right here without adding by 1 to prevent the out of bound. So we can press next, then pressing next again, great job. And then we have out of bound again. We can simply delete the equal sign. Let's use next again. Okay, so this time is correct. And then we need to somehow disable the next value or the next button to prevent the out of bound from the useEffect by adding a property called the disable. If the page is the same or above the next page, then we can disable the next button. Okay, so the next button is already completed. Then about the previous button, we can use this previous page. If it's above 0, then we can subtract by 1. If it's already, as long as it is 0 or above 0, then we can subtract by 1, allow the one subtract by 1. If it's not, if it's already 0, then we can prevent it from going below 0 for the state value. Okay, let's make this work. Next, previous. Oh, I forgot to make an onClick property right here using the previous page. Previous. Okay, so it's out of bound. Let's disable this. It's only above 0. Okay, so the previous button is not working. It's expected. And let's fix this from the useEffect using disable property. It returns a boolean if page is equals or below 0. Then we can disable this. We can use the same thing for the restart button. If it's already 0, then we don't have to restart it. And for the restart, let's declare a restart page, say the array function, and then set page by simply passing the 0. State and onClick restart page, and onClick passing the restart page to the onClick property right here. And let's try this using next, previous. It's working. Next, no, it's working. Let's restart. Okay, back to the workout plan. So let's run this to see if it works. Looks like it's working as expected. Let's submit this. That's about it. I hope you understand my explanation. If you have any questions or if you have any better solutions, then you can write in the comment section. I hope you have a great day. and I will see you on the next video. Goodbye.